Hello viewers, welcome to your favorite program, the Vintage Heritage Show. My name is Jane Briggs. Modesty is the beauty of every woman. And on today's program, we'll be talking about abaya dresses and how it has become a trending fashion all over the world, especially even in Africa. But before then, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm all alive. If the point got to my head, they make a deny you. I go tell them, say, lie. Don't be like that. I be spend all of my money on you.
Abaya is a garment worn by women around the world. It is a long-sleeved black in style and is worn over street garment. And it's designed to be free and flowing, hiding the body curves. Abaya can be worn with other clothes like a scarf covering the hair. As majority of ladies love to put on modest abaya attire regularly. Abaya is a long flowing gown with elegant design that can be fit or decorated.
Begin to fall in love. This love no be ordinary thing. It's supposed to be one night thing. So now I don't they catch feelings. I get vexed when I see you with another person.
Many fashion brands make these elegant and fashionable abaya dresses that you can wear regularly and on any occasion. As modern women who practice modest fashion often try the latest styles of fantasy abaya designs to make them look fashionable and elegant in everyday life. Women love to wear abayas in various colors, designs, and patterns that are highly sophisticated and elegant.
I'm beginning to fall in love.
Welcome back to the Vintage Heritage Show, and today I'm not alone on this program. I have with me Sekina Bako, Suleiman, and we'll be talking about abaya dresses, how it has become something beautiful in the women's fashion world. And she is actually the owner of Kita Stitches. And we'll be talking so many things about abaya and its modesty. Hello, Sekina.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I love your abaya.
Thank you.
So you're welcome to the Vintage Heritage Show.
Thank you.
I told you we'll be talking about what?
Abaya.
Good. I want it to come from your mouth because it's more sweeter in your mouth. Let's look at abaya is one dress people wear, and you can get the modesty out of every woman. It covers every beauty of a woman. When I mean covers, is it gives you the beauty that you look out for as a woman. And there is a special look people look when they wear abaya. Are you with me on that?
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Well, you see, abaya has to do with modesty because it covers woman shape, curves, and it makes you classy.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I like the word classy. Good. We'll come to that classy, so I'm listening.
You look simple but yet gorgeous.
Wow. Another word for abaya, gorgeous. That's great. Okay.
Wearing an abaya actually makes people respect you, look at you as a role model, because it has you having everything to flaunt, but you chooses not to flaunt it.
Yeah, you choose not to flaunt it, even when you know you are beautiful.
Yes.
And I think that's the definition of every good woman.
Yes.
And knowing you've got this, but it's not meant for everybody to see. And if you look at it, I think abaya, it's to clothing you down.
Yes.
Yeah, because you discover that we have the big abayas and we have the slim kind of abaya, and it goes in different shapes for everyone.
Yes.
Now look at it that abaya is a trending thing, fashion. Everybody wears abaya. There is no one woman that wouldn't say, I don't wear abaya. You are into this abaya making. Tell us the speed in which it's been trending in the fashion world, the abaya itself.
Well, I didn't really learn how to sew just abaya. I started from sewing different types of fabrics, but with the way
The rate of the demand,
yes, for abaya is, I just had to drop the whole
any other sewing, and you stick on to
just
abaya.
to stick on abaya.
Okay.
Because every lady wants like abaya, abaya, abaya.
Yeah, I noticed it.
Wardrobe.
Exactly.
Because you can slay it on to a wedding,
yeah,
to school, to office. You look simple but classy.
But classy, like
Yes.
you said. And there is this special looks the abaya gives every woman. Just like you said, it makes you look classy. And if I may ask you this, Sakina, as a question for somebody who really know a lot about abaya, has abaya got to do anything with being religious?
Not really, because a lot of people, not only Muslims, because some people say abaya is just meant for Muslims. No, it's meant for everybody.
Yeah.
If you only want to look different,
yeah,
in a kind of place where everybody chooses to show his cuffs, then you want to look different, then you go for abaya.
Or you go for abaya. I think I agree with you, because I discovered that as it's been trending all over, it's not only the Muslims that wear it. But even then, we still have argument so many places where when you dress with abaya, people tend to say, are you a Muslim? And with this conversation, I think everyone should know that abaya is a free dress for every woman who wants to be modest in dressing. And what does abaya do? It covers you ups and downs. It gives you a cool, real woman shape. That is it for abaya. Then when you look at the abaya aspect of things, abaya is a beautiful dress people wear. People use it to do one or two things, like go out, go to parties, go to dinner. Yeah, they use it. And even the little ones, you can discover now that most of them wear this abaya. Now, having been into this abaya world making, I would want to ask, and what are the kind of fabrics one can choose to make out of it? Because I discover you make them. We're not talking about the ready-mades we buy from the Europe countries, the Dubais. Now you make these things. What are the kind of fabrics that goes for abaya making?
Well, the kind of fabrics we use, we sometimes use crepe.
Crepe?
Yes.
Okay.
Crepe fabric. We use floral fabrics for kimono.
You see? You see, I love that. Floral fabrics for kimono.
Yes.
The only thing I understand in what you just said here is kimono. Because I know that kimono is a fashion trend wear. But I never knew there is a particular fabrics for that. Are you learning, a viewer? So we're listening.
Floral is this fabric that has flowers all over it.
Okay, to make it more beautiful.
Yes, so it's more sweeter for kimono, because mostly kimono is an open type of abaya that you will have to use something inside.
Inside, like an after dress?
Yes.
Okay.
It might be you decide to wear it with sweat pants. Okay. Or maybe bodycon.
Okay. Or tight?
Yes. Okay. Or a normal dress. Okay. Then you just use the kimono on it. On it, okay. Kimono doesn't have zip or buttons. It has rope.
Okay, it has rope. Yes. I know of that. Yeah, I think I have one of that in my wardrobe. That's how I come to know. Even though I'm an abaya loving person, I love to wear abaya. It gives me confidence. I don't know about you. So if really it gives me confidence, let's talk about, does abaya give a woman confidence when she steps out on any event? Abaya is the most value for money. So definitely it gives you confidence. Really? Wow, we'll be right back, and still on abaya dresses. Stay tuned, we'll be right back on the Vintage Heritage Show.
I'm all alive. The point got to my head to make a dinner.
Nowadays, abayas are created with the traditional theme, but in latest and sophisticated styles and cut to create an aged look. The flair and the flowing fabrics and the elegant cutting and sewing styles make abaya above any other styles, and that's what modern women must have. Abaya appears simple and straightforward, and dresses are absolutely gorgeous, and they give the comfort with the sophistication and freedom of a dress. Abaya are great for evening events, and you can wear them with your favorite pairs of heels and a beautiful evening bag. When it comes to abaya, accessories are key. It can be as simple as wearing beautiful heels and a shining bag, or even adding more to the look with special jewelry and, of course, your sunglasses. Abaya is a flowing gown that every woman loves to wear.
I'm beginning to fall in love. I'm beginning to fall in love.
Welcome back on the Vintage Heritage Show. We're still talking about abaya dresses, and I'm still here in the building on the studio with Sakina, talking about abaya dresses. So Sakina, we're back again on the Vintage Heritage Show. So I would like to ask you this particular question on abaya. How did you come about abaya making in your world as a woman?
I'm personally an abaya lover.
Good. I have a sister here then. The only difference is that I don't make abaya, but I sure will learn it.
But you're
Okay?
saying it, so
Yeah.
it makes us one of a kind.
Good. So I'm with you.
So I came about it because I normally sit down to sketch my kind of abaya. So when I make them, I wear them. A lot of people keep asking, where did you get from your abaya from? Where do you get your colors from?
Yeah.
As in, they are different. We don't get it in the market. How do you get them? I tell them I make it.
Okay.
So from then, I began to have others. People keep asking, okay, I want so, 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 and so. Then I started. Before I knew it, I was deeply into abaya.
Okay, because of the love you have for
Yes.
abaya, this really have pushed you even to start making it for people.
Yes.
Because I went through your collections, they are really beautiful. I was
Thank
really
you.
tempted, but I know though, I think I'm going to learn how to make abaya.
You should.
That's a good one. So that is what really pushed you into abaya. And as a professional, as a fashion designer in abaya world, do you think that abaya is moving market for women or men who makes it as tailors or as designers?
It is.
It's making.
It's
Okay, that means every woman's demand for abaya is actually high.
Yes, because now the trend has moved from wearing fitting clothes.
Yeah. Okay, but when
In
you
Ankara, people want it free.
free, exactly. And let's look into if people want it free. Why do people want this wear free? Is it because they don't want to show all they've got as a person?
Yes, for a lady, to me, I think having what it takes to flaunt, but choosing not to flaunt it, makes you different from others.
Ah, good. I think you're talking to a woman here. She said having what it takes to flaunt and you choose not to expose it. Now we're going to look at it. We're talking to the women now. So women still go to this abaya world, get a good abaya, and they still come to you guys to shape it. What's your talk about that?
Well, it all depends. Why other people shape their abayas, maybe they get extra large abaya.
Okay, one?
Yes, so they will have to shape it to fit in.
Not to fit in, yeah.
Yes.
And the other people who, when they overshaped it, do you think it's advisable for ladies to go that way?
It doesn't really look nice.
Okay, because you discovered something. Well, most of those people who shape their abayas, if you look at them, you discover that most of them don't even go with their abaya veil.
Yes.
The abaya looks more beautiful when the veil goes with them. It doesn't really matter how you tie. You can tie it the way you do or the way I do my, and still come out modest. But you see these people, they try to even not want to use the belt.
True.
They flaunt everything. You can still into their hips and know what is in there. And you discover some ladies are wearing abaya too. When you go up to their chest, you discover that everything is actually open. So that is not a modest dressing for women. If you choose to wear abaya, be abaya worn completely. And what do we mean by that? If you want to wear abaya, come out in the real way of wearing abaya and look very well. And when people come with these orders, what do you tell them?
I advise them because that's my field.
Oh, yeah,
I
good.
personally advise them, telling them that you might be slim, but wearing floating abaya
Yeah.
makes you classy.
Make you classy.
It makes you look different, even if you are slim.
Yeah.
Some will agree.
And some will say no.
Some will say no.
Okay, that's a good one. Now, there are different kinds of abaya. What kind of abaya is suitable for people? I don't like to say somebody is fat. I said for somebody who is big.
Large size.
Large
We
size.
call it plus size.
Okay, plus size. That's a
Yes.
beautiful one. So what kind of abaya is good for a plus size?
Well, cowl abaya is
What do you call it?
cowl.
Cow. It's not cow though.
No, cowl.
Cow. Okay, good.
Cowl abaya is suitable for plus size because from the up is bogus,
Good.
while it has a fitting.
Okay, down.
Yes.
Okay.
So it makes you look different.
Elegant.
You can wear it to weddings,
Yeah, okay.
and you can also wear it to office.
To office, okay.
Yes.
And when you go to the world of a slim people, so what kind of abaya fits them?
Well, there is this shaped abaya we call it. We call it shaped abaya, but it's
Okay.
not really shaped. And they can also stay in the cowl
Okay,
abaya.
a
Yes.
cow abaya.
Yes.
Now, do fat people, sorry, the plus people, plus one people, plus one ladies, are they advisable to go on the kimono type of abaya?
Yes, it all depends on the size.
Okay.
It all depends on the size. Even fitting clothes, if is your size,
Okay.
it will be your shape. It will go with your shape.
Yes, we're still talking about abaya dresses and how it fits in the modern world today, and how women should look on their abaya. We've touched that. And I just hope you're watching and you're listening, how you can learn how to look modest and beautiful on your beautiful abaya. It doesn't really matter. The kind, you can get a very high abaya, very expensive, but then let me go to the question and ask Sakina about that. Do we have expensive abayas?
Yes, we do have expensive.
And when you
abayas.
see them, do you know they're
Yes.
expensive? And you know the middle one, abayas?
Yes.
And when you see them, you know, Sakina is just smiling and laughing all through.
From
So
the
tell
fabrics.
us, okay,
From the fabrics and the design.
the design,
Yes.
you can now tell which is which.
Yes.
And for people like us who really cannot detect it, but I tell you, I really can. I know when I'm putting on something lower, and I know when I'm putting on something high, okay? So don't think Jane doesn't know. So let's hear from you, from the fabrics. And from the fabrics, you get to know.
Which is of the high price.
And of the low price. Yes, we're still talking about abaya dressing, and we'll go on a short break. And when we'll come back, we'll be talking about Kiza stitches and talk more about her. Let's know the secret of her beautiful abaya. We'll be right back. Welcome back on the Vintage Heritage Show. Still talking about abaya dresses. And don't forget, I'm here with Sakina. Hi, Sakina. We're back again. There are so many things we need to talk. We're almost rounding up this program. I wish it's going to be more than this, but then, because I'm enjoying the conversation. We're in the season of the Hamatan is approaching. And what kind of abaya do you think women should go for now? Even though we know that the most popular abaya most women wear are black, if you notice that. Now, what colors of abaya do you think you can recommend as a specialist for a lady out there, especially at this time of dusty period?
Well, there are cotton brown.
Okay.
There are colors like peach.
Okay, peach.
Yes, some people call it nude.
Nude, yeah, nude,
Yes.
yeah.
So such colors doesn't show
Dusty, okay.
Yes, but black is a no for this weather.
No, for this weather. Okay, another one we should actually look into. You know, people, most of the people who are not really Muslims, they misunderstood or misunderstand abaya for what you call hijab. Yeah, some people will tell you, I want a hijab, I want an abaya. So what are the difference between these two? Abaya and hijab.
Hijab.
Yeah.
Well, hijab is a long gown with a cap.
With a cap, okay.
Yes. Even though for the abaya you have some abayas that have
that comes
a hood.
that way, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
A hood.
Yes.
Okay.
It has a cap attached to it.
Okay, yeah, I know.
But still, that is a dress.
Okay, that's the dress. Yeah.
Yes, it's a gown. while that is a hijab, it's normally not revealing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this one you just mentioned now is an hijab.
Yeah.
And we have an abaya as well. Because if you look into them, the two are actually being like similar to
Yes.
each other.
Yes.
So, and sometimes it gets a lot of people confusing that the same style is coming out. Somebody can use what you're wearing, come out in an hijab as well. But then we still have the difference in between them, that we have a hijab and we have a abaya. Okay. Now, when we wear these abayas that we wear, that makes women stand out, modest and beautiful, what kind of accessories do you think goes with it, especially when it comes to the jewelries?
For abaya jewelries, you use all this long chain.
Okay, the
that
long
comes to
wow.
the belly.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, there are abayas that you have to use a belly belt.
Yeah,
to it again.
exactly.
You use a belly belt, then with a long chain.
Yeah.
It depends if you can use it with a toms or sneakers.
Okay.
High heels and maybe a long bag.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So when you look at the handbags people carry, is it all bags that goes with a buyer?
No.
So let's know that from you. What kind of bag is suitable for one to wear when that person is on a buyer dressing?
The bags that are suitable for abayas are this long chain bag.
Okay.
Or this small handbag.
That looks like a clutch.
Yes.
Okay, that is not a clutch.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe when you're going for an event and you want to look different, you go for that.
Oh, that's beautiful. I know one woman there is learning how to put up her abaya soon. Now let's go back to you. As we're rounding up, we need to talk about the personality of this woman sitting here today. And it's about Keisha Stitches. And that's a beautiful one. How comes it?
Well, I started when I was in secondary school. I was being inspired by seeing fashion designer Africa Abaya then.
Oh, you know of Africa, Baya.
know of Africa
Awale, man. I think I've
Yes.
met her once, yeah.
Her sister.
Yeah, and she makes beautiful
Very
abayas.
beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Her sister then was my friend.
Wow, that's where you stole the concept.
So I wanted to be like her when I grew.
Oh my God. Why? Oh, that's beautiful. You wanted to be like her. That's a good one.
Yes. So at a point I was thinking I can never achieve that.
Oh God.
But with time and consistency,
you achieved it.
I'm trying to achieve.
No, but I saw so many beautiful abayas on your catalogs. So what are the secrets behind them? You made them yourself?
I make them myself. I sit down to sketch them.
Where did you get the Keisha stitches from? Is it from the sketch? Because I just mentioned you just mentioned sketch now, so that dropped inside me. Where did you get that name from?
My name Sakina.
Oh, Sakina, you're so creative. And what's the secret behind your being creative?
It's from my family.
From your family. You have a family that is creative.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a beautiful one. So let's talk about your personal abaya business. How did you see it in your struggle, trying to make things beautiful in every abaya you make? Do you think you're getting the things you want right back coming to you, like you're impressed?
All I can say is Alhamdulillah.
Okay. And the orders you get as well? And what are the challenges so far?
Challenges I get is people still want me to repeat my same old design.
Okay. And and if people still want you to repeat your old same design, don't you think it's a good idea?
It is, but
is it affecting you?
Yes, it's affecting me because they are not allowing me to explore more.
Okay, okay. So what do you have to tell them now?
I will have to tell them to keep trusting in me to allow me make some different
designs. Okay. And so the problem you have is that they just want you to go back to the same, they don't allow you to go into the new thing that you need to explore yourself to. Well, if somebody wants to find you, are you on Instagram?
Yes, I'm on Instagram.
So can we have the handle?
Yes, at Keisha Stitches.
You can meet her there. You've heard, at Keisha Stitches. You meet her there and make a choice of your abaya. She's really good. Wow! It's all about abaya dressing, and I hope you enjoyed this program. And with this, we have come to the end of today's program on abaya dressing. And on behalf of the entire production crew, we'll meet again same time, same station on Zamani TV. Bye-bye.